tubes going. Let's get the profile going. And I think we're just about live everywhere. So hopefully we're good here. All right, looks like the tube is starting off. So hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, just getting my morning bike ride done. I already did a 5K this morning. Yes, I know I need to shave. I'll get that sorted here in a bit. Already got a 5K run done barefoot. So we've already done all that. And yeah, I'm going to get a bike ride in while we're still fasted. Hopefully we get some nice solid streams here today. And yeah, just have a good little, hopefully, chat session where people get some good questions in, some good comments. Getting this going nice and early. I don't have any calls scheduled today. One of them I had for yesterday got postponed, but had a client call yesterday. I got plenty of slots open though. People need consultations. Definitely got coaching slots open. So yeah, hit me up, guys. All right, let's get these messages pinned. Get all these Amazon wish list pinned just in case. People do buy stuff. I got some protein the other day on it, you know. And yeah, so let's pin that and get some views. Let me create a community tab post. That never hurts for getting people flowing in here. Yeah, so on the tubes, I can only do 3 pieces of content. Some people are like, why aren't you doing the running here? It's like, you guys don't even like the running. Let's just be honest. You know, because people can't really ask questions like they can in here. You guys can get plenty of your questions answered here. I think people forget you can also ask questions underneath videos in the comments. Answer questions every day. Conrad says, hello, young warrior. Harley Paul says, how are you, Jason? I'm doing good, man. We're getting this cardio did. That's what we got going. Hopefully we get a really lively stream here today. I'm hoping that we do. If I could have it my way, that's what we would get. Triple dipping for now on both Facebooks though. The profile tends to be a little hit or miss on that. We never know what we're going to get. But yeah. So I'm also on Facebook and the tubes. So those of you who chime in here on the tubes, you follow both, go hit me up on Facebook also. All right. How about you guys? How are you doing? We got any fitness related questions or comments? What do we got here, guys? Talk to me. And hit those likes, by the way. Let's get all that going. So no questions or comments at all other than how am I doing? So I guess how am I is the only question that anybody has today. I'm doing pretty good, guys. I'm doing lots of social media posting, getting in arguments with carnivores. Carnivores are the most argumentative people you will ever meet. They're way, way worse than vegans, like hands down. Single most argumentative diet group I've ever met in my entire life. And they're all conspiracy theory based. Right, so vegans work off of an ideological, ethical framework. Carnivore works completely off conspiracy theory and questioning authority. Right, that's the entirety of their ideology. So it's an outright rejection of science. Whereas in veganism is an outright rejection of, you know, the circle of life and human nutrition. Coach, what do you think is possible to gain 10 to 20 pounds in the first year of lifting? Dude, you can gain 20 pounds in 2 months, man, if you eat enough pizza. Like, you don't even need to lift weights to gain 20 pounds. You don't got to lift weights, dude. You could just sit around and eat pizza. Not a problem. Hopefully it does, but I'll replace with another fat. No, the carnivore is the worst one I've ever seen. Yes, I've tried vegan for 6 months. Never doing it again. Could we not keep bringing this up over and over? See, people still actually literally use that as a criticism against me when I point out problems with vegan diets. I'm like, but you were vegan for 6 months, like 13 years ago. Okay. So I have experience. I know the problems with it. Do you reckon Nanso Cheney's? I don't know who she is, dude. Is she hot? Does she got a squat booty? British powerlifter competed in tested meets before 819. I don't know. Seems pretty unlikely. I never really hear about the vegan diet that much. It should. No, it's all. My feed is full of both nonstop, coming on all day long, all day long. I see more posts on social media for those two groups than I do any other dietary approach. Those are promoted more individually than I just see people talking about clean eating or healthy eating. Like if I were to go purely off social media exposure, I would think that 95% of the fitness world falls into one of those two camps. If I only went off of what I see in my feed, then only 5 to 10% of people do anything besides those two, which is messed up. It's just skewed what appears in my feed, which is ridiculous because I don't do either. I promote general bro dieting these days. All right. Coach, how are you so active on YouTube with upload videos? What do you mean? That seems like a weird question, Hartha. So you think about YouTube, the fact that one of my main jobs and income streams that feeds into my main business that I spend an hour a day doing. I don't know, so how are you active at your job? So do you have something at your job that takes an hour every day would be my question. So how do you pull that off? Like how do you manage to do that hour of work every day for that one task at your job? Would be my question. I don't think I'm that active on YouTube. At this point I have no content that is exclusive to the tubes at all, like literally nothing. Nothing that I do is only on the tubes, not one piece of content. I'm in 3 different streams right now. I have 3 different social media streams all running at the same time at this exact moment while I'm doing my bike. So, right. I'm super active on Facebook. I'd say I'm 20 times more active on Facebook than I am the tubes. It's just the streams in here get way more engagement. My video views are just as high on Facebook, but these streams get way more hits. All right, on the lives. Good afternoon, Coach. What's up, David? Kung Lao says, if we gain 1 pound a month as an intermediate, won't there still be some fat gain? Yes. Yes, Kung Lao, as an intermediate, there will be a small amount of fat gain. So, Kung Lao, here's the point I would make. When I say a pound a month, that only means if you are actively bulking. Nobody said that you have to bulk to gain muscle. Let me be clear on that. For people who say, I want to gain weight, they actively want the scale to go up. That's what I recommend. Let me be clear. You don't have to gain weight to gain muscle unless you are shredded. Like if you're 7% body fat, okay. Like, dude, if you got veins running through your 6-pack, you're probably going to have to gain some weight to gain muscle. Okay. So, but my recommendation is don't go over about a pound a month if you say, hey, I want to gain some weight. That's the point that I'm making. Of course, you're going to gain fat. Dude, you're not gaining 12 pounds of muscle in a year as an intermediate. Not going to happen unless you do your first steroid cycle. Not happening. Just forget it. So, of course, you're going to gain some fat, but you want to gain weight. So, you're going to have to accept that. Makes sense? Rufio says, drop my like for daddy. There you go. Appreciate it, man. Are 3 sets of 5 better than 5 sets of 5 if doing compound movements 3 days per week? You're asking me to build you a whole watch, Arthur. Right? That question is an hour-long answer. I could write you an entire book literally discussing 3 versus 5 sets of 5. You're going to have to get way, way, way more specific of where you're at in your programming, your history, your strength levels, before I could even begin to answer that. I basically work consultation level, $100 for an hour of my time in a video call level question. Sorry. Cliff notes, if you're weak as hell, you can probably do a 5x5 pretty effectively. By the way, I consider a 300 squat to be weak as hell. So you do 5x5. As you get strong it's not going to work out too well. All right, let me go ahead and wind down the profile here. I think that's enough. Because you're going to scold me on since you're considering going on a short-term dirty bulk. Why? For what purpose? Like, what is your goal? Do you just feel you're not fat enough? You're like, I'm too lean. Like, what's your reason? There's no muscle gain reason for it. You're doing your first steroid cycle. That might be a valid excuse if you're going to go really hard. So my question is, why would you do it? Like, what is your actual reason? Besides, I just want to eat a bunch of pizza. You lost a few kilograms. Okay, so how's a dirty bulk going to help that? Conrad says, what if you're only 160 pounds of intermediate number? You're still going to have to, I mean, you need to bulk very, very, very slowly. But, you know, again, how tall are you? If you're a short guy, 160 is not small. You know, if you're 5'9", 5'10", average height, yeah, that's a problem. So the weight isn't relevant. It's your height to weight ratio. Do you find Strava helps? Strava has nothing to do with my motivation. Strava is there to screenshot my numbers. Like, I only have Strava so that I can see my run times later. And then take a screenshot and put it up on social media and then get paid for the screenshot. Right? That's why we have it. It's nothing to do with motivation. My motivation is run. All right. I'm a novice doing squats 3 times a week. I'm an elite lifter doing squats 3 times a week. What's the problem? Rufio says, lost a few kilograms recently, dirty bulk back to my preferred weight that I was a month ago. So you do know you're not going to gain muscle faster, Rufio. So you're telling me you're not fat enough. Rufio, so what you're telling me is you're like, I don't have enough fat. I want to be fatter. Because you're not going to gain muscle faster. Do you really and truly think that that bulk is going to make you regain any of the muscle more quickly from muscle memory? It's not. I'm just telling you how it is. Come out, so you're 5'10". Yeah, you may need to slow bulk, but come out, how fast do you really think you need to bulk? So what if you put on 5 pounds over the next year? You can do that. I'm not telling you what you have to do. I'm simply telling you, you know, recomposition, if you're not lean, perfectly fine. Okay. It's not like you're going to gain muscle. If you're like 16% body fat and you don't gain any body weight, you stay the same weight, you're still probably not going to gain muscle slower. So you're pretty close. Okay, well, you could probably lean bulk. Yeah, you might want to just slowly put on 5 pounds over the next year. Fake Natties dominate YouTube's fitness. Coach, keep hitting the Jeff Nippert. He has gone far back than Fake Natties. He really has. He's gone way too far. This is a problem, isn't it? Really is a problem. I got to be careful of not saying the Y word. I need to just call it the tubes, by the way, because I'm streaming on multiple platforms. Facebook doesn't like it when you do that. They catch the word. So just an FYI. Nippert is the worst of the fitness industry. I don't know about the worst, but he's definitely nowhere near the worst. I'm generally told a generally favorable view of Jeff, but I mean, the whole Fake Natty support getting ridiculous. Nippert backing Fake Natties, use it feeling that they're all in together. I mean, it goes back to what I've been saying this whole time. All the guys who claim Natty, they're probably not. They just use lower doses and don't have as good a genetics. But, you know, for the fact that it was obvious, the Hussein guy, minimal research. Guy was clearly on gear. He didn't even look natty. And people say, well, it's all lighting or Photoshop. And it's like, well, then that's not natty. Okay. And I don't think people grasp that. So if someone, you don't know what the tubes is, you're posting on the tubes now. I'm avoiding saying the Y word when I'm streaming in multiple platforms because it hurts the outreach. They don't like it. Their AI doesn't like it. So, all right. Because I'm on Facebook also right now. Do you watch these things? No, I don't watch any of their content. Destin says, Jason, last week I commented saying your routine may be too much for drug-free lifters or co-prone degree. No, I'm literally in the normal testosterone level at 48 years old right now. So you're telling me a 25-year-old natty can't follow my programming? Come on. At distance has had a bit of a rough injury, bicep tears, right? No, Rufio, because I don't know if the community tab counts against me for hitting also. I'm not even sure. You see the problem? I don't have confirmation yet that the community tab doesn't stop me from getting live stream outreach as one of my 3 hits. So I need to put stuff there, but I'm going to be careful with it. So no, I'm not. Like, you can't follow me on social media. You can't follow me on Strava. So if you want to see Strava, you could literally follow me on Strava, right? My preference neighborhood is 5'6", 1'5". He's actually shorter than 5'6". I don't like it. Alex's novice program. You mean that whole natural, whatever, naturally enhanced thing? That's the only program I know about of his. Jordan says, listen, I can do 1 to 12, right? Like, oh no, coach does 9 sets of bench press every week. When is considered old in the lifting world? I'm 29. No, you're not old at all. Like, most power lifters peak in their 30s. Destin, I do tons and tons and tons of cardio. I mean, I do 5Ks 3 times a week. But honestly, a lot of my training is cycled through stuff that I'm actually really similar to how I trained back in the bag post days these days, actually, to be fair. My training is closer to that now than it was a few years ago. My favorite program name is Work Mode, right? Work Mode training. I wonder how much work should lift in the pits of Mordor, right? I don't know. Probably a lot. Of course, I love Lord of the Rings. The newer Hobbit movies are one of my favorite movies that they're in back against. I've never read any of Jamie's ebooks. Awesome. I used to love your nonsense. Or do you mean no nonsense approach? You mean my nonsense approach or my no nonsense approach? Come on, man. Yeah, I love those movies. Those movies are great. So that could be training motivation, right? I can't really call the current training work mode because I'm like, man, I'm doing jumping and sleds and everything after all my heavy work. Yeah, Bulgarian training is hard. I'm not going to do that again. I'm not really a horror movie fan, honestly. No, Jamie didn't. I haven't talked to Jamie in a long time. Not going to go into the details. We had a falling out. He can't reconcile the fact that I own pew-pews. That was a problem. So, irreconcilable differences. He can't be friends with someone who owns a pew-pew. All right. Harish says on the Facebook, Jason is doing only compounds enough. Yeah. I mean, for most people, yeah. I'm not saying some isolation can't be helpful, but most people don't need to do very much isolation, if any, depending upon their goals. But look, if you really want big biceps and you want to do some curls, do some curls. Like if your delts aren't growing enough, you want to do some laterals, do some laterals. Makes sense? But even then, for most dudes out there, it doesn't make a lot of sense for training economy. You're not competing in bodybuilding to really isolate more than maybe 1 weak link. Like if you got one muscle that you really and truly care about, and it is lagging, by all means, if you want to isolate it, go for it. It's no problem there. If your biceps just are not growing and you want to do some curls, do some curls. But generally speaking, though, you generally don't need it. Peppermint, I realize you just like that. Destin says, what's a minimum hard sets per group per week to stimulate acceptable growth? Yeah, about 5. About 5. I mean, I don't have any hard feelings. Let me be clear. I'm not like trash talking Jamie. I want to be clear on that. I'm just saying that's just his beliefs that seem to have been a problem, and that's fine. Yes, I am live on Facebook also. I am always live on Facebook while doing this. Just remember you done Bulgarian deadlift and thinking about it. Man, I'm going to recommend you take extreme caution with that. I do pull 3 days a week for a top set right now, though. But every day now, I only train, I do full body 3 days a week, but I squat, bench, and deadlift all 3 days. But no, I mean, we can say what the minimum is, Jordan. We're all humans. Yeah, a minimum of 5 sets. Hard sets, though. I mean, I don't think that's unreasonable. Like everyone can grow off that, even if it's not optimal. Not much has changed since back in the days. The Southern industry is still a giant scam. No, men are feminized more, right? Kung Lao. He doesn't mean an exercise. He means Bulgarian training using the deadlift. Bulgarian, you're hitting training maxes every day, like 6-7 days a week, right? Like Bulgarian lights, what he's talking about. But Jamie is a legend, though. He walked into powerlifting. Yeah, dude, he broke all-time world records in his second powerlifting meet. He was number 2 with no belt in his first powerlifting meet. He took second place for the Open 181 all-time men's world record in his first meet. He was ranked number 2 in the world. Yeah, that is true. He put a belt on and walked in and took number 1 in his second meet. Now, tons of people have broken all his records since then, but that's irrelevant. At the time, kind of a big deal. And I hate it when people do that. Like when they try to discredit someone who breaks a record and then later say, well, someone else broke your record, it's not crap. Like you talk about complete armchair loser stuff. I'm sorry, that doesn't work. It doesn't matter if a person broke a record 37 years ago. Breaking a record is legit. Rufio, I'm going to assume that's a trolling question. Did you see what he looked like? Guy breaks untested world record drug-free. You have to be joking. Walking around at 200 pounds at 5'5" with a 6-pack. No, it was grams. All right. I tried Bulgarian method, but knees didn't like it. Shoulders, yeah. Honestly, my leg tendons did not like Bulgarian training. My quad tendons were inflamed 24/7. I feel like everyone can handle different volumes. So if someone can do 7 verse 15 and 5 sets to be okay for 7 sets, guys. Jordan, no. Let me rephrase that. No, you're not understanding. No one talked about maximum recoverable volume. We're talking about what will give good muscle growth. Just because you can handle 20 sets doesn't mean 5 sets won't make you grow. That makes sense? Calling out BS. Hey, Jason recently lost 200 pounds. The best exercise to get rid of the loose skin and man boot. Bro, you're just going to have to keep getting leaner. Like there's no exercises for that. Just keep slowly working the body fat down. The only advice I can give you. The joint strength and integrity is more important than the grams or maxes once you peak. All right. Man was squatting 650 without wraps at 181, right? All right. Yeah, Rufio, I probably should. Do you know which one that is? Rufio, could you link it to me later, like on social media? Because I don't know which one it is, like trying to find that stuff. Probably be a good idea. Even though it was technically legal where he is. Like, could you figure out which one it is? I have no clue. And link it to me somewhere. It's okay, Jordan, right? Full natty, bro. Yeah, we all full natty, bro. Like from Carol, appreciate it, Carol. Over here on Facebook. Facebook's slow today. It's okay. The page is picking up. One of my statuses a couple days ago, it got like 800 likes and several hundred comments, so that's coming along. It's about bench pressing. I understand, Jason, but would like 5 sets really make me grow more if I can handle 15? Okay. I don't think you're understanding how much the diminished returns are, Jordan. All right. So let me put it this way. You're not going to gain twice as much muscle from doing 15 sets, even if you can recover versus 5 sets. It's going to be a little bit. You might gain 5% more. Maybe. It's going to be a little more. It's not going to be like double or something crazy. All right. Not a good look for YouTube. Yeah, fair enough, review. Hey, David says, I'm in my early 40s, genuine natty, wondering if I should use TRT to boost my tests. Is there a certain age you think this would be a good idea? Okay. Hey, David, none of that's relevant. Should you use TRT? There's one question and one question only. Okay. We're going to sum the whole answer down. Let's forget the age. Let's forget everything else that you wrote. Do you medically qualify for TRT? That is the only relevant question to which you should think it's a good idea. Do you medically qualify for TRT right now? That's how we determine if it's a good idea to consider it. That's the only factor. Forget everything else you wrote. All right. Peppermint, could you link it somewhere? I'm sure you have some type of social media, Facebook, Instagram, something. Does creatine make you bloated? Not me personally. Hey, Jason, got to add over your last answer to the question, so I didn't hear what you said. I think myostatin inhibitors are worthless. Cool. Where did we send it, bro? So that I can investigate. Let me check all my inboxes are all linked up anyways to my public pages. See if Rufio linked it somewhere. No, I don't see it on Facebook or Instagram. So you didn't link it, dude. All right. Yeah, 10 sets is great, Jordan. I think most people would do just fine on that. And I think 10 sets is pretty good. And I think 10 is a really good number in general. As long as the deadlift at Lewis, Peppermint, that narrows it down to about 6. It's not in the comments. Like, Rufio, I can't see it. So could you link it somewhere else, please? Because I can't see it. I have no way to see it. Yeah, you can't post links here. So even if you post it under a video, it's going to go to the spam folder. Can you please send it to me on a social media somewhere? Like, you can't post links in the live stream, dude. You can see it, but none of us can see it. Jason, do you think drinking alcohol should have the same social stigma as smoking cigarettes? I think it should, yeah. I wish that it did. Like, I wish it was frowned upon. Video review in here. I talked about one of my podcasts. With all this cardio doing, you're losing weight, by the way. No. We're sitting at 209 now, though. I can't even copy that. Like, I can't even copy from the stream. Yeah, I can't get that. That's completely useless to me. Can we type that somewhere not in the live stream, please, Peppermint? No, like, I can't search for it because I would have to read it and type it out. It's going to get lost. I love you guys, but y'all really don't understand. The live stream is not the place for this stuff. It's not useful to me at all. All right. Ken, I'm spam here. Right. Jason, I've been using tamoxifen for 2 years now. Should I switch to an AR? Is it okay controlling gyno? I mean, do you concern with gyno? Do you know that you even need it? It may be hurting your gains, and that might boost your HDL a little bit. But, you know, just be aware and lower IGF-1. Jason, lifter 20 years, could I get away with 2 full body workouts with a day of GPP a week in between? The goal is continuous growth. Maybe. Right? Maybe. You have to train really hard for those 2 days, though, but it's doable. Workout 2 times a day. Yes, too much for people. Coach, I just slapped myself for being stupid there, right? I mean, the podcasts were all pretty good aside from some of the takeouts. It's actually decent. Can sauna boost HGH? No. Reverse hyper is a good hamstring builder potentially. I feel them quite a bit. Yeah, I think they can be. I like the pod, be ashamed to lose it. I can just put it on private for now. Not a big deal. I'm trying to see where you linked it because I still don't see anything anywhere. Yeah, I can't see that you linked it anywhere, dude. Do you not have any social media at all? Like nothing? Yeah, you're doing podcast. No, Vino, I haven't done podcasts in years. Is lysine a good supplement to take? No. Deadlift Dad really was on form, especially with the podcast. Yeah. No, I'm not Jewish. I'm Czech. Jamie tried to claim bananas are unhealthy. I know. Yeah, Vino, you missed it. I did podcasts several years ago, the Strong AF podcasts with several people. It's been a couple of years, though, over 2 years. I remember you doing a short talking about cereals being junk food or porridge oats. Hey, David, why would you even connect those two together? No, they're not on Spotify. I don't know how to use Spotify. They're on the Tubes and Facebook. All right. Hey, David, I've made countless videos on how amazing oatmeal is, so I'm really not sure. I don't know what porridge oats is, though, to be honest. Like, is that a brand of cereal or is that just oats? You got to remember, I'm not British. You guys have to use correct nomenclature. That sounds very British to me. And I didn't learn about that while I was there. Okay, oatmeal. So just plain oats where you add your own flavoring? Perfect. I've said many times oatmeal is an amazing superfood. Like, it's fantastic. I'm very pro oats. He's absolutely British. 100% chance. Talking about porridge. Like, There's no way he's any other nationality. David, how can you possibly compare oats to Sue? Yeah, I don't really get the connection either. Coach, if I have a half rack with safeties better than a full rack for home gym, better? Why would it be better? I turned my half rack into a full rack. Guys, if you're chatting here, you should be like, well, I agree, man. There's like 10 people commenting and only 6 likes. What's up with that? This is a problem. This is a major problem, y'all. What we gonna do about this? Vino, you need to tell Vino I'm also on Facebook, man. If you'll help a brother out there also. We always multi-stream. There's no porridge only over here. I shouldn't say porridge, but yeah, you are basically British. Free information for a simple life, exactly. Dean, what's up, dude? I left my like, don't know about y'all. There you go. They're coming up though. We picked up a bunch more. Finna leave my life for coach. Just hit like. Thank you guys. Cliff, I'm thinking of removing squats and deads for machine work so I can save my legs. What? I run. I squat and deadlift 3 days a week and I run. What are you talking about, home skillet? What are you talking about? So you think machines aren't going to impact your legs just as much as squats and deadlifts? I mean, I hope you're kidding. All the best runners in the world do squats. People who dig the green pill, people really need to be slept on, so no one would ever think about talking smack. Man, I mean, they really wouldn't, dude. Like even at expos and stuff, nobody trash talks ever. Nobody. How much does your home gym cost? A lot. As soon as I like, Cliff, you better your legs just watch. Yeah, you'd be better off squatting and deadlifting and running than doing the machine work. Running gets the blood flowing for recovery. Yeah, best AI. I mean, arguably Aromasin, if you're going to mess with an AI at all. Which again, since Primo and Masteron are no longer being produced in Western countries, a lot of dudes gonna have to think about that, aren't they? I think people are not up to speed on that. Any Mast and Primo you guys are getting now is probably fake. Coach, what do you think is the best body fat for maximizing strength? I don't think there is. I don't think that that's a question that can't be answered without enormous context. I suck at PVP. Hey, Jason, thanks for setting me back on the right path. I'm down to 190, between 10 and 12%. Nice. Getting ready to pivot the lean gains and stay under 200. There you go. Ignoring my questions. What do you mean inspired? I answered literally the only question you asked. I answered it. All right. I got to be crazy to do that. Ball guy was too. Right. You ever add treadmill to the home gym? No, I hate treadmills. I literally loathe treadmills. Thoughts on Charleston White? Well, I think his first name is Charleston, and I think his last name is White. And I think, given that name, I'm going to guess he's probably a Caucasian dude, but he could be a black dude too. I don't know. I'm just making a statistical guess based on the name. Am I close? I'm going to assume he's male and most likely Caucasian. If not, he's probably African American. Damn, I was pretty far off. Man, you guys got to work with me here. You guys know the rule. When you drop a name, you need to break down. Is this a movie? Is it a boxer? Is it a fitness influencer? Is it a band? Y'all got to work with me. Like, you got to say the band Charleston White. It's a reggae band named Charleston White from the Caribbean islands. What do you think about it? Make sense? Or this person is a fitness influencer in the bodybuilding sphere on these social media platforms. Like, you've got to work with me. Or this is a basketball player who plays for the Tennessee something, whatever Tennessee basketball team is. I don't follow basketball. Like, you guys got to work with me with the names a little bit. You got to work with me a little bit here. Y'all are bad about that. All right. Just joking. How do you think is on? I don't understand the question. Sorry, some of my questions must have been blocked or something. My bad. All good. Yeah, you asked a question about AI. Same as you, 209 pounds of gold at about 190, 160. Nice. Have you tried Jewel? Probably the most palatable. No, I don't mess with silly stuff like that. And it's like a vegan meal replacement. I've seen the ads for it. Yeah. You find it funny that all the YouTube fitness channels from the golden era are all irrelevant. Yeah, some of them are, but it is what it is. How much is coaching this? And you can reach me on Facebook. It's linked underneath every video. Coaching is $250 a month. Do you sing as well as play guitar? No, I play the guitar much better than I sing. Now, just because I can't sing doesn't mean I won't. Coach, do you follow any sports? Women's figure skating. Greenfield, he's friends with Aiden Ross. So, cool. So, Green Pill. We kind of come back to the same rule. I have no clue who any of these people are. Yeah. I have no clue who any of these people are at all. So you've named 2 names now so far, and I literally don't know who they are. I have no frame of reference. I don't know if they're basketball players or part of a rap band. I have no clue. All right. The protein powder, Iron Mind cells out saying no for the do you believe in these electrolyte powders or just plain? I mean, you can buy individual electrolyte powders. I buy potassium and stuff. I even add potassium salts to food. The biggest prospect in heavyweight boxing is called Moses. He's only 20 years old and benches. All right, cool. That sounds pretty impressive. Sounds like a pretty strong dude. But what do people say? Lifting weights doesn't carry over to fighting. Strength doesn't matter in a fight. But then this heavyweight boxer is doing benching 175 kilograms. You know. But that don't matter in a fight, guys. All that matters is skill. You know, because a boxer who's a trained, really serious boxer who can bench 4 plates, you know, isn't going to knock your block. All right, you still running new gear. I'm just on a replacement dose of test, guys. So I count that as pretty much natty. You can hold whatever view you want. I don't really care. Why are we asking me about having kids, Rufio? Rufio, I love you, but you're about to go in timeout. Like, we're getting into personal life stuff. I hate to have to do that to you. But you have a bad habit of asking about neighbors' cars. Is normally a good poster. Like, you do that stuff really bad. Not a good look, man, if you don't want to come across as a stalker. The green pill, I have no idea. Why would you? What? Weird question. I know, right? Like, why are you guys asking all this weird stuff about kids, about, you know, this is a fitness channel. No, you're not in timeout, Rufio, but I think you guys are losing. Yeah, they're really out of the personal boundaries. You miss it? No, because I was unhealthy. I was too fat, too much body weight. You know, yeah, okay, so I was squatting and deadlifting over 600, but I was also getting some sleep apnea. I'm 48 years old. I'm about to be 49. Like, I don't need all that, you know. Let's just get rid of this guy. You're smart, Jason. Stay cool. Yep. Use protein powder, and so yeah, sometimes I use There's some in my Amazon wish list, dude. You want to send me that? No, I sometimes use Optimal Nutrition. Some boxes will have the bench source got true. Your legs were super stacked in 2002, 2022. Yeah, but I was also squatting 600 pounds. And I was weighing 240 plus, right? I'm 209, not 245. What's your take on strict form versus cheat reps? I've made whole videos on that, Really, the argument is one of overuse and injury more than anything. I don't think there's going to be a significant difference. If you know how to do cheat reps and maintain the tension that you want, they're going to produce just as much muscle as strict reps, arguably some extra stabilizers, but it's also coming at the risk of overuse and injury. So, we can make cases for both. So I'm going to lean in the direction, though, of stricter form, because you can just do big compound movements if you want carryover. Hey, Green Pill, I don't answer sexual related stuff, dude. Can we stay on topic, please? This is a fitness channel. Is barbell bench press and barbell over press enough for a full push day that works everything? Maybe. Thank you for sparing me, Coach. Won't happen again. Give me a word. Thank you. We're on the same page with this one. Yeah, but, I figure we might be. Inspired by fair enough. I'm 31. I feel like I'm at my last chance to push it. I trained naturally for 13 years, so I have some fun. It's around 40. I mean, it's a personal call to make. If you built a good base, drug-free, I mean, that's a personal call to make. I'm not going to knock you for it. Do you believe choosing signal? Why do you care about boosting testosterone at all? Complete waste of your time. Like it's a dead issue of just silly marketing. No, I'm not tilting and showing the bike again. I'm not doing all this again. No, because I've got a cam with a cord, and it's going to create a big mess if I do that. I have everything balanced. I have my keyboard, and it doesn't matter what bike because it's probably not made anymore. It's 10 years old. You're not going to find the exact model on Amazon. It's probably been discontinued. So there's no practical need for you to know the brand of bike. I can tell you it's a brand called Work Fit. I'm looking at it. But I bought it a decade ago. I'm on a desk bike, like a desk bike, like that you put a laptop and stuff on. I think 35 is the sweet spot age to get on TRT at. Maybe it'll be me in a couple of years. I don't even know what he means a choosing signal. Is there a picture? Probably not. I don't know what green pill means. All right. I've never heard that term in my life. David says, oh, okay. Jason, you change anything at all since turning 40 maybe edition? I mean, a lot of different things. I don't know. I turned 40 so long ago. Like, dude, I'm about to turn 49. Like, you're asking me, what did I change it for? I don't know. That's a long time ago. People with questions about increasing testosterone or who supplement companies market to exactly. Yeah, he probably just wanted to get a glimpse of my packet. Probably would have asked these kids in their funny words, Coach. 35 is easy street. You need it until mid-40s. Well, what are you talking about? I mean, the older you get, the more recovery matters. Yes. I mean, we all know this. Hopefully we all know this. I hope that we do. Anybody not understand this? I think people downplay it too. There's a point where I say age is just a number. When people act like most dudes are stronger and more jacked in their foot, that's just not the case. Like we know that looking at powerlifting records, just not the case. Or touch and go deadlifts for reps better for hypertrophy? No. I don't use a belt, never do dead. Yeah, you need a dead stop every rep. Have you done? Not recently. Hey, Green Pill, why are you posting this nonsense? I thought you were a good poster. Let's go to timeout. So hate to do that. He's given super chats and stuff this week, but it's like, want another deadlifter like George Lehman to come around. Love that guy. George was his own dude. You know, I've had some chats with him back in the day a little bit. I don't know what he's up to these days. He's definitely an interesting character with his own little following. I think guys that they don't even know anything about that anymore. Okay. Yeah, I remember George Lehman was definitely an interesting character with his own backstory. You know, I've generally had a generally favorable view of George though. Richard, they just are they're going crazy the last few weeks again. Nothing we can do about it. Can we not talk about them though? Like, let's stick to fitness stuff instead of feeding them. Like, even doing that just feeds them all, even mentioning them. Is it acceptable to dead stop on dumbbell rows? I hate holding the dumbbell. I mean, in theory, you could. Would you say popcorn's an okay snack? I heard Greg, you said say it's okay to eat, just not any other snacks. I mean, it's fine. Just don't add a bunch of butter to it. Being Better says you should train 7 years consistently for you. Being, okay, that's a silly comment. Okay. Beam, what relevance does TRT have to do with training? Beam, let me ask you that again. What relevance does TRT have to do with your lifting at all? But you see the point, right? These are not even related topics. Yeah. You know, these aren't even related topics at all. Someone told me they cruise. I mean, a cruising dose with, is he on TRT or is he on just a cruise? Cruise is whatever you define a cruise as. There's no set rule. It's a vague concept. It's just there. What a silly comment, man. Obviously, it's the real Jason. Oh, don't be silly, guys. Yeah, I just don't understand why you would talk about how many years someone needs to live before they get a prescription medication for their health from a doctor. Like, you see how silly that is. What if they don't want to lift at all? And I'm not saying they shouldn't. I think everybody should lift. But what if a person who doesn't lift has low testosterone? So you're saying they should go lift for 7 years before they get the medication that they need to be healthy? Like, that's just ridiculous. Come on, guys. Do better than that. Yeah. So I don't know why these things are related at all. All right. Lifting increases testosterone? Potentially, maybe. But anything that improves health, if you're in poor health and that's what's causing you to have low test, then anything that improves health will, in theory, help. Losing body fat will help. Improving your diet will help. Not drinking alcohol will help. Right? But there's a certain point where age will eventually catch up with you and your testosterone will decline no matter what you do sooner or later. So it's a question of, do you want to re-optimize it? No, I'm not. I mean, so you are silly. I'm confirmed 5'9". All right. Thinking about testosterone, stressing about it could lower it. Yeah. Pretty sure he's fine. Can you find the right doc who will prescribe TRT even if not strictly medically needed? Some T clinics will, yeah. Mm-hmm. My height, I'm 5'9", and that's actual real 5'9". But yeah, millennial stats would be 6 foot. dating sats or whatever, they all have 3 inches. But now I'm 5'9". There is influencers saying not to use sunscreen because it lowers heights. What? Yeah. So you could basically just ignore those silly people. Apple or Android. I've never seen an Android phone like inside. I've never used one. I don't know how to use one. My first smartphone was an Apple, and I've never tried anything else. I literally don't even know how to use an Android. I would have to relearn from scratch. TRT isn't TRT unless it's medically needed. Valid point. Never originally claimed 5. Did he really? Seems like a legit dude, to be honest here. No, Nippert, I believe Nippert is 5'4". Is anybody later admitted to? I thought, or is it 5'5"? I don't know. I can't keep up with all this. I just can't keep up with this people's stuff. I thought he made one where he said that years ago. You know, who knows? What should I do if I'm injured? You should go to a doctor. If we're the same height as strap on, oh man. You cannot boost testosterone enough naturally to make much of a difference. Stop worrying about it. Guilty. Pretty much valid answer. All right. Josh, when I first came across Coach Visual, thought he was 6 foot. Most people do. My real life friends don't realize I'm not like 5'11". I've been accused of being. I'm like, no, I'm 5'9". Where are you getting this from? It's weird. Yeah, get your testosterone tested in a medical setting versus what the advertising is telling you, right? Don't fall for Turkestone. It's trash. Yeah, it's a scam. Hopefully we all know it's a scam. We all understand it's a scam. Your legs and arms look long, maybe you look 6 foot. Yeah. What height should I claim as legit? I don't know. You should claim 6'1", dude. Just use your real height. Why would you lie about it? It's silly. Unless you're a millennial, then you have to add 30 inches for some reason. I don't understand why. You're always like a huge amount of discourse about TRT, right? That's average for our age group. Young guys are like 6'1". No, they're not. Also, your headline gets a Slavic thing, right? What? Why are you going to make a comment about my ethnicity? Right. Could be, though. Yeah, no, it isn't. Unless you live in the Netherlands, that's just not true. You live in the Netherlands or Iceland, I believe you. You're in the U.S., there's no way. Maybe he's a Slav. He says we have long heads usually overseas, right? Weird obsessions about height. It's so weird. I don't know why so many guys obsess over it in general. It's such a strange thing to care about. My feet are coping really well with the barefoot running, actually. Doing great. I did a 5K this morning on Facebook. No snow. That's literally incel level insecurity. Just stop. Just stop. All right. Do better. Every school probably claims to be the coach. Yeah. Right. You spoke when they measure their height, they don't include their head. That's what? What do you think about Mike Israel? Yeah, he's giving out some information that's become very questionable these days. Because now Snow says, I don't know, eat a healthy diet, eat plenty of protein. Well, make up your mind. First you said you were 6'1". Now you're saying everyone you're schooling now. You got to make up your mind. You should just eat a healthy diet. You should work out, eat a good diet of healthy whole food with plenty of protein. That would be my advice. Best thing you could do. Quality whole foods, lift weights, stay healthy. Get protein and dairy in. That would be my recommendations. All right, guys, time to wind some of this down in the Facebook. We didn't get supers today. Oh well. All right. So love you guys, and I'll talk to you next time now.